very first mission in Maritzburg in 1962. People had invited us and been very bold because we were a completely untried young team. I'd never preached 3 days in a row, let alone 2 weeks in a big city hall. And the Lord just invaded the situation. And we had a packed city hall for those 2 weeks. That really launched the work and set us on our way. And then one of the things we found it important to do was to try and gather the church to face the tasks of mission and evangelism. And I suppose the first really major one of these was the South African Congress on Mission and Evangelism in Durban in 1973. I can't begin to tell you the struggles, difficulties and hassles we had in 1973. To hold an interracial Congress in those years when apartheid was in full flood. There are many, many stories that come forth. Remembrances for me and memories was the part the Lord helped us to play in the run-up to the first South African elections in April 1994. The Lord was able to use us through some confidential backstage negotiations to bring a mediator, if you like, or a go-between, a black African Kenyan diplomat and economist called Washington Okumu. He had trained under Henry Kissinger at Harvard. This brother Washington that we brought in was able to negotiate the parties coming together. And do you know, just before the elections, we called in Durban what we call the Jesus Peace Rally. Wonderful experience. One minister phoned me and said, no, it must be called the Interfaith Peace Rally. I said, there's no power in the word interfaith that I know of, but there is power in the name of Jesus. And we had this Jesus Peace Rally. On the 17th of April, the elections were to be 26th, 27th. And it was a war environment. We never knew whether 3 people would come or 300 or 3,000. Well, 25,000 people turned out to pray. And I've never heard praying in South Africa ever like that. We were on the edge of the precipice, I tell you. That was on the 17th of April. The 18th, up in Pretoria, the parties, including President de Klerk, dotted I's and crossed T's. And on Tuesday the 19th, they signed and announced to South Africa an agreement whereby all the parties could come in on the election.
Africa has gone through a most extraordinary, unbelievable time as a result of decolonization in the 20th century. What happened then was that the centers of power was found in the cities, and you had a huge development of financial and political power in those places, and also massive migration of people into those cities. New cities were just suddenly built out of the veldt with wide streets and huge plots for potential businesses. And into that context of this massive amount of city urban development, African enterprise appeared and began to not only deal with human souls and the need for people to come to Christ, and through Christ to find the right kind of understanding of the world, of the cosmos, of humankind, of evil, to emancipate those cities and make them work, instead of the old traditions that were tying people into rural understandings of reality. And part of that too was to try to influence leaders, political leaders, business leaders, leaders in education, every conceivable way. And Michael had a very special vision to reach these, and you could not do that without also having an interest in justice. How could justice be served? What is the way in which community could live together? And as you looked at the questions of justice, you had to look at the issues of peace and the issues of reconciliation. So the message of the cross, Michael was always able to tie into these great social needs and movements within Africa. It's in the very nature of human beings to learn from the past. Our fathers teach them things that they've learned, and some of them we take into our lives. But legacy is an extremely important part of living. You know, if you look at the Bible, for example, I would say that virtually every book, maybe with a few exceptions, are about people's individual history with God. And so God roots His truth in the lives of people. And if you look at the New Testament, the Acts of the Apostles, for example, these lessons and discoveries and experiences of God are meant to go forward and go on and resonate again and again in the lives of people who hear about it and want to have their lives impacted and affected by it. And you'll find in the records that we've got here a huge amount of wonderful material that will help you not just with your mind, but help you to open your heart to truth and to faith, and then also to act in ways which are profoundly Christian.
The Michael Cassidy and Friends Legacy Project. Of course, it comes out of all of our years of evangelism and mission in Africa, and it has seemed to some friends and to myself that there could well be value in collecting the material that we've used and putting it into a digital archive and make it available to pastors, to students, to researchers perhaps on this particular period of church history in Africa. And so that's what we're doing. We're putting something together which we want to last into the next generation when a good few of us are 6 feet under the sod, and we hope there will be people like you who will want to use it, who will find it interesting, and will be actually blessed by it.